So I was going through the F2 grid recently and I noticed that aside from the main title candidates such as Ticktum, Joe and Schwartzman, I didn't really know too much about the drivers in the lower half of the grid. Well, with the exception of Alessio De Leda, but that's for different reasons entirely. One name that caught my eye was David Beckmann. I meant David Beckmann, alright? The German has been a welcome addition to the list of Formula 2 podium finishers, and today I am answering the question whether he can become the next German F1 driver. Let's begin. David Beckmann came to life. David Beckmann was born on the 27th of April 2000 in a place called Iserlohn in northwestern Germany and started out his career at the age of 6 in karts. He was actually very successful in that time of his life. He won the ADAC Kart Masters and the Bambini class in 2009, the DMV Kart Championship and Bridgestone Cup in 2012, and became German Junior Karting Champion in 2014, even ahead of Mick Schumacher and other good talents such as Max Futrell, Juan Manuel Correa and Logan Sargent. In 2015, Beckmann decided that 2 years in junior category karting were enough for him to move up to single-seaters, where he drove in the German and Italian Formula 4 championships with Mick Motorsport. Fun fact, this made him the youngest F4 driver in the world at the time. Even with his lack of experience, Beckmann did a very respectable job, finishing 4th in the Italian series with 3 wins. Meanwhile in the German championship he ended up 5th with 1 win and was crowned Rookie of the Year. So at this stage you would expect Beckmann to try to win the F4 series after a good first season, akin to someone like Dennis Hauger in 2019. But the German decided that he was ready for a step up into the FIA Formula 3 European Championship, which, when you look at the fact that he was unable to compete in the first 2 rounds due to his age, makes as much sense as FOM's broadcasting choices.
What has happened? We need to know who's going to come out in front!
He remained with Mick Motorsport but only finished 15th in the championship, with 2 third-place finishes at Zandvoort and Hockenheim being his best results. Though he wasn't too far off his more experienced teammate Mikkel Jensen, and finished way ahead of F1 driver Nikita Mazepin. Although, I'm pretty sure that my grandfather could do that.
Turn right to go left!
By the way, if you're enjoying this so far, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Dankeschön! In 2017, Beckmann went in for another year of Formula 3. He started out his season at Van Amersfoort, but after only 3 rounds, where he didn't score any points, Beckmann switched over to Motorpark. Results improved, but even still the German ended up in P16, 1 position lower than his 2016 season. At this point, you could have been forgiven for thinking that Beckmann had no future in motorsport, and this was exacerbated by his admittedly poor showing in the first half of the 2018 GP3 series with Genza. But then, he switched over to Trident, which, to be honest, is a much more formidable team at this level than this excuse of an outfit. Beckmann got pole and won the feature races in Spa and Monza, and he also controlled the sprint race at the Sochi Autodrome, which, when all the results were added up, meant 5th place in the standings. This was quite remarkable, and so Beckmann got another shot at Formula 3 with ART Grand Prix the following year. However, if you aren't yet aware, ART have a tendency to be very inflexible with their setup choices for their drivers, meaning that, if you cannot adapt, you're going to have a really bad time of things. Because of that, Beckmann only scored 20 points throughout the year in what was a wretched season for the German. This would be compounded by something else near the end of the year. His father Robin was involved in a road accident and received life-threatening head injuries. David was forced to take over his dad's wind power company and put his motorsport ambitions on hold. Oh yeah, and he was just 19 years old. Talk about mental strength! Fortunately, in the middle of 2020, Beckmann was given a lifeline in form of Devlin Di Francesco who, because of budget concerns caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, pulled out of his F3 seat with Trident. David took the Canadian's place and finally lived up to his promise. He was victorious in Hungary and Britain respectively, and, through his consistency, which allowed him to become the only driver to score points in all but 1 of the races, Beckmann kept himself in the title hunt up until the final round. Unfortunately, he missed out on the title by just 24.5 points, but this proved that Beckmann was still a very capable and talented racing driver. Yes, he had a lot of experience, but to finish 6th in such a competitive series like F3 deserves some respect. Of course, we all know that Beckmann has since moved up to Formula 2 with Charouz to partner Guilherme Samaya, who is lucky that De Leda is taking away the spotlight as the Jar Jar Binks of F2. Beckmann has, so far at least, finished on the podium twice and, If luck goes his way, he will have a chance to maybe even get a win. But now comes the all-important question. Will Beckmann get to Formula 1? Well, he had a chance once. Back in 2016, after his superb first season in car racing, Beckmann was taken in by Red Bull as a supported driver. Technically wasn't part of their junior team, but he still had some perks and, most importantly, a connection to a Formula 1 academy. But his lacklustre performance that year meant he was removed from the programme, and without a massive budget akin to Nicholas Latifi or Nikita Mazepin, Beckmann can kiss his Formula 1 ambitions goodbye. Although it wouldn't mean the end of his racing career. His measured and controlled approach, adding to the fact that he's very consistent over a whole season, make him perfect for endurance racing. In a way, he is similar to the man he replaced at Charouz, Louis Delatraz, who has himself found early success in the European Le Mans series. Both aren't the flashiest of drivers, but they get the job done, and with that, I have to conclude that David Beckmann is going to move into the World Endurance Championship in due time, and if he can utilise his full potential that he showed in karting right up to F2, then he might become a driver who will etch himself into the record books as a future 24-hour of Le Mans winner. So guys, what do you reckon? Will David Beckmann do well in F2 this year? Drop a comment down below, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!